Been having a walk around shops this morning and I noticed that in Wilko's they've got 20% off all the gardening stuff. So you've got to have a look and try and grab a couple of bargains while you're there. And I picked up one of these green grapevine, and with little bit that they knocked off it only cost £2, and it's quite an healthy looking plant, that. So I thought for £2 we'll get one of them, we'll get that banged into a bigger pot and see if we can bring it on more next year. Then while we're in the supermarket, I couldn't help but get some more basil. It's already grown for you. There's multiple plants all in one pot. And sometimes I'd split these and to get more plants. But it doesn't always work when you do that. What I'm going to do with this is I'm going to take it out and just put it into a bigger pot altogether. And again, try and grow that on. Because I think basil smells amazing. And that was reduced in the supermarket as well. So it was 50p. Also picked up some garlic as well. These are only the small bulbs, they're not like elephant garlic. But I split some of these last year and put them in pots. And they did come up about 4 or 5 bulbs of garlic from just putting in 5 little cloves. So it was still worth doing, even though they do grow not much bigger than that, to be fair. But it's just something else that we can try. And then of course, there's 20% off and you see seeds, you've got to get some. So I've got some mustard, thought I'd give them a try. And it's a salad leaf base at the end, it's a little peppery, so we'll have a try at that this year. And of course, these are perfectly fine to be planted out during the autumn period. I've got some onions. Not sure if I'm going to be planting these at the moment, but because they were cheap, 50p a pack and then 20% off, you've got to have a go. So, but they'll save for next year because the date on them is 2025. And then we've got some pak choy, and this one's called Shanghai. So I thought we can do some of this as part of this autumn planting project. Got another pack cauliflower seeds, again 50p. And these are the all year round cauliflowers. So I might try a couple of cauliflowers outside and then maybe a couple in here as well. And we've got some more carrot seeds. Again, this is not the specific one that you should get for winter like Autumn King, but for the price and a long date, if we don't grow any now, then they'll save. But I was thinking about putting some more in pots like we did before and then leaving them in this greenhouse. See if we can get a few, if only baby carrots, before Christmas. Then I picked up some lettuce, and again that's all year round lettuce, so it does what it says on the packet. You can plant it any time of year, which is perfect for what we're doing. And then a pack of mixed salad leaves, which is going to be obviously the cut and come again. We've got quite a few seeds and we got them at a good price, which is all the better. So now we can start and get some bits and bobs sown, whether it be into pots or into little cells to grow on and then replant into these good sized containers. So I think what I'm going to do first is I'm going to start a carrot pot off, because carrots do have a long growing season, and if we put them in containers we can offer them plenty of protection, because we could cover this pot with bubble wrap in case it drops cold later in the year. But another good thing about this is, because it's a black container, you get sun in daytime and black absorbs heat, so it's going to hold a bit of warmth in there as it starts to cool down through at night. And basically I've just sieved some compost into a container, and all the lumpy bits that come out when we sieve it we keep, because we use it to part fill these containers. We know that as carrots aren't going to get that long, so we might as well put some of the chunkiest stuff at the bottom and then top it up with the good sieved compost. And that way we're saving the best stuff, making it last longer. This is that compost that we've sieved, and now it's nice and fine, which is exactly what you want for growing carrots, so they don't fork or bend. And you can also mix it with a bit of sand when you're doing carrots as well, because that helps. So I'm just going to fill this container up now with this nice loose compost. And I'll probably try a few of these. When I do it, I just bang it down and then level it out, because you don't want to compact this compost down. You need to keep it as loose as possible. And then we can make a nice even bed for the seeds. Now we'll give it a good water. Then we can pop the seeds on. It might be worth your while having a walk round at this time of year, because apart from Wilko's, there's other shops that are now discounting the gardening stuff because it's coming to end at season, and some places are offering 50% off. So I'm only putting a few seeds in here. We don't want to overseed it. We're just going to carefully broadcast the seeds over at top and try and leave something of a gap between. Like that. And believe me, it's not easy with carrot seeds with them being so small. So I think what we've put in there is going to be enough. And then I can just give it a really light covering with this colander. Just enough to see those seeds disappear. Done. I'm not going to label it because we'll know what it is. So that's as container carrots all done. So that's one to start us off with these autumn plants. And then I'm going to do some cauliflower. But I'm going to pop them into these cells. And all I'm going to do is drop a couple of seeds per cell, because I don't want lots of cauliflowers. If 12 came up, that would be more than enough. I probably only want about half of those. So, fill this tray up. Just take that top off. And these do want to be compacted down a bit. Then I'll just top it back off again. So again, I'm going to wet these cells, because then I'm going to make a slight indentation in the centre of each cell. And then when I drop these couple of seeds in, they'll stick to compost rather than rolling around or bouncing about. So we'll make it nice and moist. Then we'll just make a bit of a dent, but don't make it too deep because brassica seeds are quite small as well. We don't want to be waiting forever for these seeds to germinate and then break the surface of the compost. And because some of these are going to be staying in the greenhouse, I'll probably try them in a container and try and get baby cauliflowers, not great big ones. All done. Not very deep. And we'll get some of these seeds put in. 2 seeds per cell. That way, if one doesn't germinate, there's a very good chance that the other will. And again, to help them break that surface as quick as possible, lightly cover with this colander. And then we'll just smooth that over and make sure that everything's properly covered. Again, a quick water. And this time we'll pop a label in. Because if we do any more brassicas, you'll not be able to tell the difference. And that's cauliflower sorted. So now we can sort this basil out. Because there's so many plants in this one area, it's bound to be getting root bound. And if you do see any damaged leaves like that, you might as well take those off now. Because they get side shoots and it will put out more growth, which is why we're potting it on in the first place. So I'll move it into a 2 litre. That's going to give it plenty of room to grow. And then I'll take a similar sized pot to make the hole. So get this plant in, and I'll make it a little bit deeper as well. Now we can take this out and have a look. And to be fair, we don't need to have a look. Now we've took it out of that cellophane packet, you can see all the roots on the bottom. are all coming through. So definitely getting root bound and it needs to be moved, as you can see. So hopefully we can encourage this plant to start growing better. And to help with that, we'll just loosen off all these roots at the bottom as well, just to stop that circling effect. And then we can get it in this pot. And then I'll just infill around. So for a Sunday, not really a bad day. The weather has definitely turned, and I think we've been forecast 10 days of rain to come, starting from today. It's not here yet, but it's starting to get quite dark out there, so it is definitely on way. But because we're in a greenhouse, we can still carry on with this project that we're doing. We've got as cauliflowers sown into those multi-cells. We've repotted that cheap basil that we got from the supermarket to grow on into a bigger plant and keep giving us more and more basil. And we've set up that container with carrots. And whether we harvest those as big carrots or baby carrots, we're going to get something. So we've made a start, and tomorrow we'll move on to the bigger containers. We'll make up a full container and mix salad leaf. So it'll be cut and come again. As they grow, we take all the outer big leaves, let the rest grow on, and it'll just keep producing more and more for us. So we'll basically be filling that container up, overseeding it, and then waiting for it to grow. And that will be staying in greenhouse. So we'll sort all that out tomorrow, and we'll do a few other things as well in different types of containers, and start and get this greenhouse filled up with as many autumn plants as we can. So if you're interested in seeing how we get on in this container greenhouse, then please just hit that subscribe button, press that notifications bell, and we'll see you at next update. Thanks very much for watching. You all take care.